I do want to spend a minute with you on Ukraine, but before we get to Ukraine, let's just talk about Germany. So over there in Germany, the sort of more moderate conservative party has won their parliamentary elections, and the more conservative, more to the right, more MAGA-esque party has gotten only 20% of the vote, which is very good for them. It's just they didn't win enough to actually win. And so, unfortunately, the moderate Republicans over there, or conservatives, govern with the left in Germany. They're not going to form some coalition with the more MAGA-esque branch of the conservatives. They're going to form a coalition with the more leftist branch, which is unfortunate for our German friends, because that's not what they need. And now already, the likely new German chancellor, Friedrich Merz, who is the leader of this conservative Christian Democratic Union, that's the moderates, gives an interview and says the following: "It's an absolute priority to strengthen Europe as quickly as possible so that we achieve independence from the U.S. step by step. After the latest statements by Donald Trump last week, it is clear that the Americans, in any case, these Americans, this administration, mostly don't care about the fate of Europe one way or another." Also said that intervention from Washington, a reference to Vance and Musk expressing support for AFG, the Alternative for Germany party, that's the more MAGA-esque group, was no less drastic, dramatic, and ultimately no less outrageous than the intervention that we've seen from Moscow. What? People close to this guy describe him as direct and pragmatic, says the Washington Post, but also arrogant and thin-skinned. So this does not sound like a friend to the United States, and he's offended by the messaging coming out of the United States, which has really been, do your part, Germany.
Constructive criticism. It says we want you to live up to your Western obligations to ensure free speech. And it's going to make it much worse, because if you took the AFD's vote and Merz's vote, it's about 51% of the people, and they should have a conservative government.
Yes.
But he's going to reach out to the Green Party and the Social Democrats, and there's not going to be a conservative voice in Germany, and that's going to make people even angrier after they feel they voted for a conservative majority. And, he better be very careful, Megyn, because his country is running about an $80 billion trade surplus. And it's not based anymore on superior German productivity. They have 4 times the energy costs that we do. And they're not as productive as we are anymore. And yet they're having an $80 billion because they charge 5 to 6% tariffs on all our goods. And we charge either none or 1 or 2%. We've got 3 big bases there. We have about 75,000 American soldiers that protect Germany, because of the 32 NATO countries. We asked them 11 years ago, can you just pay a measly 2% of your GDP on military expenditures? 9 of them or 10 of them haven't done that, and Germany hasn't. It's still down 1.5, and everybody looks and says, well, Germany's not doing it, so we don't have to. And then after the Nord Stream 2 dependency, Merkel thought, well, we're going to shut down all the nuclear plants, all the coal plants, all the natural gas of our own, because we don't want to deal with this icky, dirty fossil fuel, but we'll get it from Russia, let them do it, and give it to us cheap. And Trump said that is stupid, because you're going to be dependent on Putin, and he's going to know that. Well, now that they need liquefied natural gas from the United States. So Trump is going to correct that trade surplus with them. And if you told Germany said tomorrow, we want all of your troops out, we don't want your stupid American protection, we don't want to be under your nuclear umbrella, get out, Trump would do it. He'd say, okay, if that's your attitude, fine. And he will make the necessary adjustments. So they are very dependent upon us. And they should also think that for 85 years, we fought that country twice. We didn't want to go over there. We never wanted to go over to Europe. We had to go over there in World War I. I'm speaking to someone who, my grandfather was gassed in World War I. My father flew 40 missions in a bomber in World War II. The person I'm named after was killed in World War II. None of us wanted to go over there, our country. We went over there and saved Europe twice. And then we did it a third time. We protected a vulnerable Germany from Russia for almost a half century in the Cold War. And they took that free defense and they had the German miracle. That was great. They were spending all of their resources on being productive, but they developed a very harsh strain of anti-Americanism. And I don't know where it came from, but I have my suspicions that it had something to do with the humiliation of defeat, and then dependency on the United States. And if he really thinks that Donald Trump is some crazy person with no constituency, he should look at the polls, because
right. He speaks for us now. We continue to face uncertainty when it comes to the economy, with a perfect storm brewing as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point as the largest generation is hitting retirement. A smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. You pair that with our growing national debt and rising cost of living, and we could have a big problem. So what are you doing now to protect your family for the future? Well, gold can be a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and it does not cost you 1 cent out of pocket. Protect your future today. Text MK to 989898 and get your free info kit on gold and a copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. There's no obligation, just information. Birch Gold has earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings. Just text my initials MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.